If you've been waking up in the middle of the night and struggling to fall back asleep, then you're in the right place. Greetings, my name is Meredith Loudon. I'm a former insomniac turned insomnia coach, and so many people come to me looking for help with figuring out how to stop waking up in the middle of the night and fall back asleep easily. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the top things that I share with my clients about nighttime awakenings and how to approach them. This is technically called sleep maintenance insomnia, which is trouble falling back to sleep in the middle of the night. The opposite is if you have trouble falling asleep in the beginning of the night, which they refer to as sleep onset insomnia. Some people struggle with both or just one or the other. And if you were struggling with both at one point, but now you're only struggling with one, then that's a really good sign because you're making progress in increasing the amount of sleep that you're getting. And it's likely just a few tweaks that you need to make to completely eliminate insomnia altogether. So the good thing about sleep maintenance insomnia is that if you are falling asleep easily at the beginning of the night and you're sleeping for a few hours before you're waking up, that's actually the deepest, most rejuvenating sleep. The sleep that you get at the very beginning of the night is usually the most powerful sleep, and so you are getting that. So it's actually a lot better than some other alternative scenarios. Now, the way that I love to explain how to eliminate most issues related to insomnia is by considering how someone who sleeps easily approaches their sleep because they have the result that you're looking for. And it almost always comes down to their perception of sleep. The key difference between those who fall back asleep easily and those who don't is in their reaction to waking up. If you are perceiving waking up in the middle of the night as a bad thing, as something that shouldn't happen, then that actually is activating your nervous system, which releases adrenaline into the body, which ends up waking you up even more. But here's the thing, waking up in the middle of the night is completely normal. Everyone does it because it's actually part of the sleep cycle that your brain moves through during the night. When you're asleep, your brainwaves gradually slow down into a deeper sleep, and then they gradually speed back up into a lighter sleep, and then this cycle repeats. So your brainwaves slow down, and then they get a little faster, and then they slow down again, and then they get a little faster, and this goes on various times throughout the night. And the brainwave speed of falling asleep is the exact same brainwave that you're in when you wake up, which is the alpha brainwave. So if you've woken up in the middle of the night, you're already in the same brainwave that you need to be in to fall back asleep. You're already there. So you don't need to try to fall back asleep. You're just at a normal part of the sleep cycle, and it's an indication that your brainwaves are going to slow down even more, and you'll drift back off into sleep. Now, if you notice that you're not falling back asleep and it's been a little while, then the next thing that I recommend to my clients is to continue resting. You can't try to force yourself to sleep because sleep is a passive process that happens naturally. I always say you don't go to sleep, sleep goes to you. And so you'll actually fall back asleep faster when you're not trying to sleep at all. So don't try to sleep. Instead, some really easy things that you can do are listen to an audiobook or a podcast just to keep your mind distracted and at ease. And this simple strategy works for a lot of people. And if that doesn't really help, then the next thing I would normally suggest is reading a physical book until you can't keep your eyes open anymore. That's the next thing that I ask people to try because that's also super powerful. Because when you're reading a book, it slows down your brain waves, which puts you into the alpha brainwave state, which is what you need to be in to drift off to sleep again. So the more that you feel safe and not under any pressure in the middle of the night, if you happen to be awake, the sooner you'll feel more peace within you, and that is when the nighttime awakenings will stop happening. There's also another factor to consider if you're waking up in the middle of the night, and one of those is physical exercise, which might be different than you expect because it's kind of counterintuitive. You could either be exercising too much or too little. So that's something to experiment with on your own, because over-exercising and over-training can actually make sleeping more difficult. You'd think you'd sleep better because you're like exhausted, but in reality it doesn't work that way, and your sleep can actually get worse if you're overly active. And this similar effect I'm seeing all of the time with my clients, which isn't necessarily due to too much physical exercise, but it's that they are way too busy. They are working way too much in terms of their daily schedule and their job, and they are burning themselves out. And so the body kind of gets stuck in this active alert state, which causes awakenings in the middle of the night because their cortisol is spiking around 2 to 3 in the morning. So if you have this really go, 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 always busy mentality, that's what I would really encourage you to take a deeper look at, because your mind and body might be trained in a habitual pattern of always being on. And any type of rest or relaxation, your brain might not be interpreting as safe. So this is really what I specialize in. So if this sounds like you, then make sure you watch my free masterclass, which I'll link in the description below. This is where I walk you through the 3 biggest insomnia mistakes you're accidentally making, and my exact strategy to eliminate insomnia for good, completely naturally, without any sleeping pills, which is how I overcame 16 years of insomnia and how I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people around the world. So here are the key points that I want you to remember about waking up in the middle of the night. Everyone wakes up in the middle of the night, so you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're actually completely normal, so don't punish yourself for being awake. Do something relaxing, like listening to an audiobook or a podcast so you can continue resting. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, you're already in the same brainwave to naturally drift back into sleep. You're in a natural part of the sleep cycle, so it's nothing to be alarmed by. And you also just got some really powerful sleep at the beginning of the night, since that's when your sleep is deepest anyway. So I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. Do you wake up in the middle of the night? What have you tried? What do you notice works for you? Let me know, and that will also help more people find this video who need it. I have lots of other videos with insomnia tips, so I'll put those playlists over here. I appreciate you, and remember, you're more powerful than you think.